everybody, and welcome back to the Brown Señoritas. I'm Stacy.
I'm Caro.
And I'm Desi.
We're so glad to have you guys here with us today. We are going to be talking about
English 101.
English 101.
I love that, actually.
How we learned English or English?
Yeah, so all three of us had to learn English. Neither one of us we weren't born knowing the beautiful language. So I think we're going to talk about that today.
It's a journey. It's been such a journey. Gosh. It's still a journey.
I was going to say, I'm still learning things.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes like when you're starting to learn a language, and I say this because I took like 2 years of German in high school, because you're like, okay, once I know like the language 100%, like I'm good. But like you also have to realize that there's different accents, different like ways of saying things that they don't teach you in school, slang. And so it's a constant learning of phrases, or like, what does that mean? Or like sarcasm. Even like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like you can be speaking like the words that you understand, but like the tone of things too are just can be confusing at times.
So confusing. And also like a lot of jokes are made within the context of American history.
Yeah.
So if you don't understand that, even if the words make sense, you can still be lost.
You're just like, oh.
It's understanding the culture plus the language.
The culture.
Yeah.
The culture plus the culture.
The 1 plus 1.
I'm stupid. I thought.
Are you a little bit out of frame?
Scoot your chair over this way.
Okay.
There we go.
There you go.
You can put one leg on this side if you want. We're still getting situated. Don't worry about us. Okay, so.
Oh, the Stanley is down.
All right, we're
Had
good.
to happen.
The Stanley sponsor.
You have to
us.
drop it at least one time a day.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
At least.
And spill water.
Okay.
So anyways.
All right. So how old were you when you moved here?
I was technically 10.
How old were you when you moved here?
17.
17. And I was 7 the first time I came. Was that when you learned English? So you were 17 when you learned English?
Yeah.
And you were 10 when you learned English?
No, I grew up learning English. So my mom was an English teacher in Mexico.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So she taught in like the LDS high school in Mexico.
Uh-huh.
But she came to BYU to learn English for a couple semesters. Anyways, so
So she studied at BYU and then went back to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your mom was like fluent in English.
Yeah, she was pretty fluent. And then she went back and taught.
I had no idea.
Yeah. She went back and taught, and that's how she met my dad, because they were both teachers at the high school.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad taught chemistry. My mom taught English.
Of course he did. Oh
I know,
my
right?
gosh,
He's a
that's
smart guy.
crazy.
And so ever since I was little, though, like my mom would either talk to us in English, and we were pretty, you could say, blessed enough to. Well, I want to say, like, I feel like a lot of schools outside of the United States, they teach English. Like
They do. Yeah.
That's like a
You
part of
took
the
English
curriculum.
classes growing up.
No. I mean, yes and no.
In high school?
So I went to an American school.
Oh, so it was. Oh my gosh, that's what I should have done.
So in the schools that I went to, there was only one school that wasn't American, you could say. It's actually a Catholic private school. And I don't remember them teaching English there, but most of my childhood growing up,
Learning.
I've been exposed to the English language.
Yeah.
And when I came here, I like I said, I was 10 years old, and I was like, I've known English my whole life. Like, I got this. I know I'm perfect. And literally, like, my first 2 days, I was like, what is going on?
I know.
Like, right.
It's not
It
just
hits you and you're like, oh my gosh.
My cousins and I had like traveled to the United States. Like we'd come here on vacation. And so we thought we knew English.
Yeah.
And so we would literally be like, let's just speak in English. Are you ready? Literally gibberish. And we're like, we're so good at English.
We need to repost that TikTok of like the two, I think they're like Mexican girls.
I know
But they're,
exactly
like,
what you're talking
Hispanic
about.
girls are like, hello, my name is Maria. And you? And the girl's like, hello, my name, I don't know, Juanita or something.
I love that TikTok.
That was me when we were little.
Like, we thought we knew, but that's how we sounded.
Right, literally. I feel I still sound like that, to be honest.
Yeah, I have my moments, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's been a journey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've been exposed to it. And like I said, I think we've just been taught just like the normal English, like the classic traditional English, but once you come to the States,
it's so different. It's so different.
And even obviously Utah has its own like language, slang, whatever. If we were to go to the South, I think I would have had a harder time picking up English because they have such a different accent or different ways of saying things.
No, it's so true. I learned English in Arizona, and I still think that Arizona is very like neutral English because then when I moved to Kentucky and people are like, hey y'all, my birthday's in July. I'm like, what? But you know what's so funny is that I picked it up.
Okay.
So like I had an accent for a minute because when I went back to Guatemala, I was talking to the missionaries and I loved the missionaries because I'm like, yes, I'm gonna speak English with you. And I was good at it at that point. I've been speaking it for a long time then. And I remember there was this missionary, he's like, I was talking to him and he was like, where are you from? And I'm like, here. He's like, where are you coming from? And I was like, Kentucky. And he's like, oh yeah, because you sound like a hick. And I was like, but I was so proud of it.
Yeah.
So like part of me will always be a little bit hick. Yeah. Like just a little tiny bit.
That's awesome.
I picked up the little
the vibes.
The twang.
See, I can't even like I don't even know how to pretend or fake an American accent from like different states.
The Valley Girl? What about the Valley Girl?
I can't. Like, I don't understand the difference. So I can only speak it, whatever it's coming out. I don't know what kind of accent this is. I can tell which one it is if I hear other people saying, but like for me to imitate an accent, impossible.
It takes a.
Can you do the Valley Girl?
I think I can get closer to that than like anything
else.
Right. That would be the easiest.
I wish I had like the Boston.
Oh, the Boston.
That's my favorite.
Oh, I love it. The New York.
That one's hard to understand.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, if I could talk, like, the TikTok girl, Michaela.
Oh.
Like, hers is extreme, but, like, a muted version of that, I love.
Have you seen, apparently, she's, like, I don't know if it's true, but apparently she's faking that accent because there's, like, an old video of when she was, like, 14, and she's, like, a counselor at some camp.
That would crush me.
She talks normal. She has no accent.
I don't know who that is.
She was
I'm sure she's a makeup girl.
She's an influencer that I know.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I know. It's because when I first opened TikTok, she, like, came on my TikTok, and I was like, what's wrong with her voice?
Oh, yeah.
But I was hooked.
Yeah.
But, like,
she got big in, like, 2020.
She does makeup, but I don't actually watch the makeup. I just listen.
Face, but
anyways, apparently it's fake. But, I don't know.
I'm dead.
So, when you moved here, and you, like, went to school for the first time, did you have a hard time keeping up with, like, class and, like, homework?
I don't ever remember struggling understanding, because I feel like anyone can maybe agree to this when you're learning another language. It's easier for you to, like, understand it first than to speak it.
Totally.
Right? So I don't ever remember struggling understanding, like, homework assignments. I knew what I was supposed to do. But I do remember one time in 5th grade, that's the grade that I came into from Mexico. There was this kid that sat across from me. I can't remember his name. I used to remember his name because it was like such a like impactful moment in my journey. He's like, I'll give you $5. Oh, because our assignment was to draw something. Like try to match it with whatever was on the board. And I guess my drawing was really good. He's like, I'll give you $5 for your drawing. And I was like, $5?
What are bucks?
Right.
Buckets?
Oh my gosh. I know, that was so hard for me.
And I had such a hard time. I was just like, what? I don't remember if I ever said, like, what do you mean or what are you talking about? But I was like, sure. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So bucks was hard. I don't ever remember when I made the switch to, like, oh, it's dollars. You know?
Right.
But that was one that I remember was, like, my first time that I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have a memory. That's so funny. That, like, reminded me of a memory. I was in school, and, like, a mom came in to volunteer, and she was talking to one of the boys, and she's like, what's up, buddy? And I was like, buddy? Body? I was like, did she just call him cuerpo?
I know that.
Like, what's up, body? It literally, I was shook. I was like, did she just call him body?
Body.
I know, yeah.
And it took, I don't know, again, I don't know when I made the connection that buddy's like a nickname.
Right.
But I was like, body. She called,
just
I was
keep
like,
playing that in your head.
I was like, she called him cuerpo.
my experience of something similar like that was, like, I was at church one time, and when I was an exchange student, and this mom with her little baby, she was like, you need to go party. And I'm like, party? Like, party.
Potty.
Yeah. I didn't understand the difference between potty and party.
Party.
Like fiesta, yeah. And I'm like,
potty?
like,
You go to the bathroom to
party? Like, it's supposed to be a fun little experience or something? I don't know. It never made sense to me.
You're like, dang, white people really love going to the bathroom.
Right, I'm like, it's so cute that they made it so fun, you know?
Yeah,
and then it clicked to me not too long ago, to be honest. Like, it took me a good, 5 years to be
last
like,
week.
oh.
She's like, last week I realized that kids go potty.
Like, how is... I literally could not tell the difference. I always thought it was so funny.
I'm dead.
Why do you... I mean, obviously, they can't go through the whole English language when they're teaching us English. Right?
That, it has to go with time.
Like, you're gonna
are you still learning things? Because I'm still learning things.
100%. Like, Cody said a word, 2 days ago. I can't remember what it was, but it's a different name for birds.
Oh.
I can't remember what it was.
Is it...
It's like a flock of it's like a flock of whatever. I can't remember. It showed up in a video game, and I was like, I've never heard that word. He's like, there's no way you've never heard that word. I'm like, Cody, I know the words. No, I'll have to ask him. I'll have to ask him, but I'm like, I know the words that I know and the words that I don't know. And before I used to be really shy about asking what does that mean. But I got to a point that I'm like, the faster I know.
Wait, I love not knowing now. I'm like, teach me.
Yeah. Like, the faster I ask, the faster I'll know, and the less I'll have to ask again. Mm-hmm. So finally I got to the point that I was comfortable asking. And I want to say this is end of high school, maybe after high school, that I got comfortable asking what the heck are you talking about?
You have to.
Yeah, no.
Then you're gonna spend 5 years like me thinking it's party instead of potty, because I knew it never made sense, but I just didn't want to ask.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. It's stupid.
So when you came here, you said your mom had been teaching you and stuff. So when you came here, your first that you could have a conversation.
I want to say so. I don't remember struggling making friends. I might probably have said weird stuff, but I mean, we're fifth graders, you know? We're all just wanting to be friends with each other.
Yeah.
So I want to say, and the only other time I remember struggling was the word swear, because I would hear people say, I swear I won't tell anyone, and then they would say, don't swear, because that's against whatever.
That's
but swear also means bad words, right?
Yeah, swearing.
To swear, but also I swear I will never do this.
Yeah. And it's spelled the same.
I never even thought about that.
I remember I was in 5th grade, Reese Elementary School in Spanish Fork, when I first heard that word, and I was like, I'm so confused. And I never asked anyone, and it finally clicked probably maybe 2 years after. I was like, oh, okay. This is what the difference is. And so...
I love those moments when it clicks and life is just...
Yeah. You're like, life makes sense again.
Now I can talk to people.
So, but when you came, you didn't speak anything.
So I took English classes growing up in Brazil, and I think it wasn't even the classes I took in high school that helped. Because honestly, they were decent. I learned, the verb to be, all the basics, and I could conjugate verbs and, adjectives. I knew enough to, put a sentence together.
Yeah.
Speaking was hard.
Yeah.
For sure. A really, really, really strong accent for me. But I think what helped the most was definitely,
living.
No, it was consuming American entertainment.
Oh.
For sure. Because, I was a big fan of, when I think about my childhood, Hannah Montana,
Were those all in English for you, or were they dubbed?
They weren't in English, but at our house, my dad always made us watch it in English because he wanted us to learn.
That's awesome.
So it was good,
I don't know how it was anywhere else, but I remember in Mexico, DirecTV was that was a channel because you could pay extra for English
to change the
keep it in Spanish.
That's how it was in Brazil.
I think we had it in English because that's one thing I tell, and I even told my mission companions, I'm like, if you want to keep the language, go home and watch Disney movies because you already know what they're about, so you don't have to figure out what's going on. Watch them in Spanish with English subtitles or English with Spanish subtitles. Do it both ways because you already know what it's about, and you can pick. And
that's what I did. Always subtitles, because I
can't live without subtitles now.
I still need it. I still watch movies with subtitles. So I think that's what helped me, and honestly, my siblings too. We just consume so much American entertainment.
That's the way to do it. Honestly, I mean, kind of, but I think that that's not how I did it, but
a lot.
But that's it's so true because my parents moved, we all moved at the same time. So I was 7. My parents were I think my mom was 30, 29 or something like that. My dad was 30. And my mom loved English. So my mom, all her like high school years, college, she would study. So she was like, she knew English, like she could get around, but her English was like textbook. So it was like proper. It was like, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
And then my dad comes to the United States, not one word of English. He just starts watching TV. And honestly, it's a miracle, but like he picked it up quick for being 30.
Yeah.
And like, so like my mom would be like, hello, how are you? And he'd be like, what's up, dude? And it's like, that's entertainment.
Funny.
That's like what people speak. Whereas my mom was like textbook. So like, yes, watching TV. If you're listening and you want to learn a different language, I think watching TV is a good way to do it.
It totally is. It helps so much. Because then you're introduced to like different subjects. Because like depending on what show you're watching, like they talk about different things at every episode. Like let's say Hannah Montana, right? Like every episode she talked about different things. So you learn new vocab every time.
Yeah.
Right.
It's cool. It helps a ton.
And watch TV. Who knew that'd be homework? I came when I was 7. And I did not speak one word. Like, my mom loved English, so she would teach us. But I feel like I was just not aware as a kid. Like, I remember her being like, red, rojo. And I'd be like, I don't care. Obviously, I was, like, little.
Right.
But she did play the Sound of Music soundtrack every night for us. So I knew doe deer, a female deer. But no, I remember coming to the States. And we got here, and the first thing we did, I don't know what day we got here, but the first thing we did was go to church on a Sunday. And they sent me to primary, to my, like, age group. And I remember sitting there, and this sucked, because I knew what was going on, but I didn't understand what was going on. So the primary teacher, her son, who was, like, our age, had just passed away in, like, a tragic accident. And so she was telling us the story. And I could tell that she was telling us the story, but I was like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, I want to know so bad. And that she would just be like, I remember her saying, like, I'm your mom. I'm here. And that's all I got. And I was like, I remember, and I went home that day, and I was like, Mom, I really want to know this language, because I didn't understand anything in primary today. Oh. And she's like, it's okay with time, whatever. Then I go to school, and I got nothing. My teacher's talking to us, and I got nothing.
Literally, you said that from math class?
Bro, nothing. I remember going to, like, she'd give us, like, a worksheet. And she's like, all right, work on it. And I would look at it, and I'm like, what are these words? Like, I got 0. And so I'd just go to her desk and be like, empty. I'm like, I don't know. And then she'd be like, okay, write this, write this, write this. And I was like, cool, thanks. And then that was it. So, like, and then there was this one girl. Her name's Aubrey, which she's, like, it's funny. She was, like, my very first friend, and I like, cherish her a lot because she was my very first friend. We don't, like, keep in touch or anything, but she was so nice. She would always be like, let's go play outside. Let's go play outside. And so she would just, like, take me. And I'm like, oh,
that's
like,
so
looking
sweet.
back on it, I'm like, dude, I'm so grateful for her because, like, I don't know what I didn't have friends. I didn't speak the language.
Yeah.
I was, like, the one little Latina girl in, like, a class full of white kids.
Where'd you guys move to?
That was Arizona.
Okay.
That was Mesa. So
That's crazy.
It was just like a bunch of white Mormon kids and me, who was also Mormon. So that helped, I guess.
Yeah.
But I remember the day that I was like, oh my gosh, I learned it. So it was my birthday.
When you feel like confident.
That's when I knew. I was like, I know this language. So I turned 8. It was my 8th birthday, and my mom was like, hey, do you want to stay home from school today? And I was like, absolutely I do. And she's like, what if we go shopping? And I was like, of course. So she took me to Payless, and she bought me 3 sandals. And I, to this day, remember the sandals. There was a pair of, like, black flip-flops with, like, white leather, like, flip-floppy parts.
Cute.
And I, like, wore them to school the next day.
Of course.
The next day, I'm, like, walking in. And I'm in 2nd grade, and I have a crush. His name is Tyler. And so when you get to school, we're, like, lined up outside the classroom, and he was right there. And he looks at me, he's like, you weren't here yesterday. And I was like, I know. It was my birthday. And then he was like, oh, that's so fun. Like, happy birthday. And I was like, thanks. He's like, what'd you do? And I was like, well, my mom and I went shopping, and she bought me these flip-flops. and then I was like,
I just had a
conversation.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, I know this language. And then I never looked back. And then I guess.
I don't remember the first time I felt like that. That's really
It's so
cool.
funny. I, like, literally have that engraved in my mind because I remember stopping the conversation being like,
holy crap.
I just spoke it. I just said it. I had a conversation.
That's really cool.
So, Tyler, my first crush. You know what's funny about him? Both my cousins moved into that school afterwards, and they both also had crushes on him.
Of course.
Because I told them, I was like, that's the cute kid in class.
Never, lesson number 1, never share your crushes with your friends.
Never tell
Don't let them know.
Don't let them know.
Because they will want it.
Or
They'll go after
cousins.
him. Or your cousins. But, no, it's funny, like, I think I was really lucky because I learned it pretty quick. I was really young. I was 7. But there are still things to this day that I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
Totally.
But I'll say this. I think knowing Spanish made me better at English. Like, that's so weird to think, but hear me out. In Spanish, when we read words, we read it, like, phonetically. Like, we read letter for letter.
Like, I-E-O.
I-E-O, right. So it's like, in English, it's different, but I would read it in Spanish in my mind first. So, like, let's say the word...
Oh, totally. I know what you're saying.
I'm looking at the word beautiful, right?
I was just thinking about the word.
In Spanish...
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And literally, that's how I would remember words. I would read them in Spanish in my head, and then I got it.
Literally, I still do that.
No, yeah, same.
I have to.
Do I still do it?
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
I remember that was a struggle for me. Like, I'm like, that's how it's spelled? Like, why? It doesn't sound like it. And, yeah, anyways, that's Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone does.
And I honestly think it's made me a really good speller because I'll take pride in that.
Dude,
I'm
was
a
in
good
the
speller.
really have to
Wait,
learn.
did you win the spelling bee?
No, I missed it by... I was, like, finalist.
That's
and it was in
amazing.
5th grade.
That's incredible.
I could
dude.
still not do that. I know
I
for a
can't remember.
fact.
I think it was stupid, something like ladder or something that had double
See, I don't know how to spell ladder.
letter.
Ladder.
Yeah, there you go.
Just one L though. Just say LL. I don't
So
know.
smart.
I wish there was adult spelling bees because I think I'd be good at it. Where?
There are spelling.
Should we
bees,
host
but
this spelling bee?
Dude,
The
we
brown
should.
señoritas. Only
The brown
Latinas.
señoritas are giving a spelling bee
You have to
party.
be an immigrant. Let's see who's better.
Oh my gosh. Okay, also, do you know what I was like strangely good at as an immigrant? United States geography. Bro, I can tell you where every state, I can tell you every capital, I can tell you the shape of every state. Like, it was weird. But maybe I'm a little bit autistic.
No, I was gonna say, I think like
1%. Who knows?
And this might, I'm not trying to, is she okay?
That's really funny.
I'm not trying to like,
You said that like that's so normal. Oh god.
I'm not trying to throw shade, but I feel like in our home countries, I will for sure admit that if I would have stayed in Mexico, I would have been smarter.
I can prove that to you.
I'm
prove it
literally
to you.
like a little dumb because I moved.
Would probably, my mom, but like actually both my parents are like, you would have been an engineer. I'm like, what the fuck?
No.
There's no way.
Let me tell you
Barely
this.
count to 10. No, I agree with you. 100%.
But so I feel
thought
like
that before.
whatever skills we got in our home countries, that because there was a time.
Now,
period that-
granted, I think it only applies if you went to like a good private school
for sure.
in our countries.
If you had good instruction going on. But I feel like at least in Mexico, they were more strict on like assignments,
so
readings,
rigorous.
homework.
School's so much better.
Yeah, I mean, it was harder. So I feel like I took some of that because I remember being good at geography too.
Yeah, I'm a beast.
I was in AP English, AP History. Like, I was good. And then I got to my junior year, and that was like super fun year for me in high school. And then I dipped.
Yeah.
I was like,
So I guess as long as I graduated.
I think I can prove that because it's true. So I went to school in Guatemala from whatever you start in, and I was there till first grade.
Okay.
In first grade, I already knew all my times tables. I already knew how to add, subtract, and I knew how to divide. Like, I already knew that.
Yeah.
That was like, I got it. I was 7. I come to the United States, and their math, like, when I came to school here, their math was like 2 years behind.
Damn.
And
Which
so
was kind of nice because I'm like,
oh,
I got
so
this.
nice. So nice. And I remember being like, dang, like, these kids just are now learning. Granted, I didn't speak the language, so I was also behind in the language, but
Right.
once I got it, I was like, these kids are so behind in math. And it took, I think I didn't learn division in the United States till I was in like the 3rd or 4th grade.
Wow.
So I'm like, these kids been knowing this in Guatemala. I do think, however, it's like good private schools that are very rigorous. And is it better educationally? Maybe. Is it better mentally? No. No, because I remember being little and going home and having to do homework, like a lot of homework.
Yeah.
And that's not life. I'm a big believer in no homework. As a teacher.
That's interesting.
As a teacher, I'm like, no. School is for school. Home is for go play sports, go paint, go read books, go color, like, go be creative, go do other things that are not like, I'm going to read this textbook and fill out this worksheet. No.
It's interesting because in Brazil, I didn't get a lot of homework.
Yeah.
I had tons of homework.
And
I was a good student.
In Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also what you said, like, I don't think I'm particularly smarter than an average person. Like, I think I'm smart, but I don't think I'm, like, gifted. But when I came to the United States, I was in all the gifted classes. Like, me and my siblings. Like, we were in the gifted math classes, language arts classes, and all that stuff. But I think it's simply because, like,
gifted math class? Or, like, is it honors?
Well, it was like a program. Like, like honors, essentially. Yeah. But, like, I honestly think it was...
gifted math class.
Let's go. Got a gift. No, yeah.
But I just think it's because of, like, the rigor that we were exposed to at an early age that we were just, like... So, do I think that... Now we're talking about education. That's funny. Do I think it's a little...
Sorry, that's my neighbor with a stupid...
It's a motorcycle?
It's like a... It's a very expensive car, actually.
A Maserati?
No. The one...
A Lamborghini?
No.
A Porsche?
No.
That's all I know.
A G-Wagon.
No. A G-Wagon.
I'll look it up.
That's all I know.
A Range Rover.
A Cadillac.
A Mustang.
I'll have to pull it up. Anyways, he's like, he drives that loud at night. Sometimes even at 1 a.m, he's like, vroom, vroom.
Does he not realize there are babies sleeping?
Whatever. Anyways.
That's one thing I'm dumb at. Cars. I don't know anything about cars. But, yeah, education. I think it could be a little more rigorous here. I mean, kind of. As a teacher, my kid, like... I don't know.
I think it's less about, like, rigorous as far as, like, how much you're making them do. More about how you're teaching them. I thought teachers kind of sucked. Like, I was in school and I was just like, she's just sitting there and making me read this book. So I'm pretty much teaching myself.
Here in the United States?
Yeah. Like,
that's how... See, I didn't have, like, the high school experience here, so I don't know what it's like here.
Oh, yeah. Like, my junior year... So I did my junior year here. I always felt like my teachers were more about, like, read this book or read this chapter and... do this homework. Like, I don't even remember them teaching that much in front of me. It was more like, you read this. So I'm pretty much teaching myself if I'm just reading something, you know what I mean?
That's weird. I hope that not a lot of teachers are like
but
that.
maybe, I don't know. That was just
wait, so I totally forgot to finish this part. How I'm proving to you that we're smarter.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's not true. So I came to the United States and I was way ahead of everybody, math-wise.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, they caught up, and I, like, was learning in the same, like, at the same pace, at the same level. But then I went back to Guatemala for high school. Bro, I was behind.
Struggle.
Bro, I don't think I ever... Well, I did catch up in a way, because,
I feel
like, I really liked math.
Yeah.
Like, I was good at math.
Yeah.
But I do remember being like, this is so much harder than it needs to be, because I was so behind here.
Yeah.
So
100%.
You didn't keep up. I totally had the same experience. When I finished my exchange program and I went back to Brazil, I don't know how I graduated. I'm pretty sure my dad had to beg for me to, like, be able to graduate.
You probably just slipped him a 20 or something.
No, literally, I'm pretty sure my dad had to talk to the school and be like, let her. Because I was so behind. Like, I did not understand anything.
Okay,
I was
but
like,
you had
I don't get
lived.
it. I lived.
You had lived.
And I think my dad's, like, argument was like, come on, like, she speaks better English than anyone in her class.
When you went back to Brazil, were you like, did everybody look at you like, oh my gosh, she's so cool because she just, like, lived in the United States?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was popular. Thing. But also, like, in my class, there was a few other girls that did the same thing, so I wasn't that special. Like, it was pretty common to do that. But I definitely, like, helped a lot of students with their English homework for sure. I remember doing that a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting.
All right. I want to ask you guys if you know what these idioms mean. First, do you know what an idiom is?
No.
So an idiom is it's a phrase that's figurative. So it's like it doesn't mean literally what it's saying.
Right. Okay.
But I'm going to give you some English idiom examples to see if you know what they mean. Okay. Once in a blue moon.
Oh.
Do you know what that means?
It's like once in a
what
random
it never
day.
happens.
It's like random, right? Like every once in a while. Okay.
Every once Once in a while.
Everyone says that. I was like, blue moon. What the fuck?
Well, because blue moons don't happen that often.
Yeah, probably.
I don't even know what
maybe
a
like once a
blue
year.
moon is.
I don't know.
It's a beer.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay, spill the beans.
Oh, give us the tea.
The tea.
Yeah, like
which
to
is
roast
also
the
another,
cheese.
yeah.
Right, okay. Beat around the bush.
Yeah, you're avoiding the question.
Right.
Yes, you're not getting to the point. Okay. Break a leg.
Good
I don't know
luck.
that one.
Good luck?
Good luck?
Yeah.
So we say, how would you say
I think
that?
that's theater talk.
It's theater talk, but it's
yeah.
actually like a curse if you say break a leg.
So,
it's like,
But how do you use that?
so it's saying good luck. So like if you're an actor in a play and you're about to go perform, like, hey, break a leg.
Oh, really?
Like, good luck. Like, have a good one.
that
I also
makes
think
no
so.
sense.
I don't know if this is true, but I might have read this. But back in the day, like probably Shakespeare times, like instead of clapping after a performance, people would stand up and like stomp, like move their, like stomp their chairs against the ground. And
What
the
the-
harder they did it, it meant like you're
better.
clapping harder. And then sometimes the chairs would break a leg because you're. So it's like if the show's really good, you're gonna hit your chair really hard and break a leg of the chair.
That makes sense.
I've never heard of it, but that would be cool.
I'm gonna choose to believe that.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because I like it. Okay. It takes two to tango.
It's just like
It
both
takes
are-
two to, if it's
Yeah.
a messy situation.
both are at fault.
Both are at
Yes.
fault. Okay.
We're so good.
You guys are good at this.
Give us our citizenship.
Can we have our citizenship now?
For real.
Joe Biden, where you at?
Now that I know what break a leg means, I deserve it.
All
That should
right.
be part of this test.
Idioms for
How
real.
many idioms do you know?
Bite the bullet.
Oh, bite the bullet? Oh, it's like take the, like I'm just gonna bite the bullet. Like I'm just gonna take the pain or I'm gonna take the hit type of deal, right?
Like I was gonna do it.
It's
I'm gonna suck it up and do whatever task I'm told.
yeah. It's like okay, I lost it, but it's. Hold on, I gotta go back because I lost it. It's to get something over with because it's inevitable. Like you're gonna do it anyway, might as well just do it.
I'm
So,
gonna
like,
start using that.
like full send.
I'm gonna bite the bullet.
Yeah, I mean,
See, using those phrases is what's gonna make me sound American.
Yeah.
yeah.
I wonder like what type of idioms I actually use like day to day.
I don't even know.
I don't think
Right.
I use them that much.
Yeah.
I
I don't want to use
I'm
them
gonna.
wrong.
All right.
I like spill the tea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But also,
maybe that
I think
one.
the idioms that we use now are much more like slangy
Yeah.
or like
There's new ones.
right. These are like old time. These are like classics.
Yeah.
Like hit the sack.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm tired.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit the sack. I'm gonna go to sleep.
A lot of these come up in movies.
Yes.
I swear.
Alright, you watch like
So
90s
that's why
movies.
you need to watch movies.
As I'm only telling you the ones that I know because there's a bunch of here that I don't know. Like
Give us one that you don't know. Let's see if we know.
up in arms.
Oh, like
no idea.
ready to fight, right?
You're good at this.
Yeah, you are good. At
I
this.
watched. Literally, there was a point that I was like, I need to figure out
Yeah.
what the heck people are saying.
Yeah, up in arms is like yeah, ready to fight. You're angry about something. Scrape the barrel.
Ooh, I've heard.
This all sounds so like old.
I need it.
English
That's true.
to me.
Honestly, we would never talk like this. Like, I'm gonna scrape the barrel for
I'd be like,
you.
Stacey,
I don't
what
know.
are you? What are you
Literally,
saying?
what is this called?
Idioms.
Idioms.
Or like idiomatic
It's
expressions.
Side eye. Is that one?
Side eye.
That's the one I use the most.
That's like a TikTok word.
Yeah, but it's an idiom.
My kids do it. They say it, and I'm always like,
My idioms come from TikTok.
okay, then let's find some like new idioms.
Like it's lit. That
Right.
could
That's
be an
one,
idiom,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. It has to be.
And I feel like if I were ever to teach English, I would tell people, all right, we're going to do like freaking 20 minutes of like the language, grammar, whatever. And then the rest of the time, the rest of the 30 minutes, we're going to watch a couple clips and you guys have to figure out what the heck they're saying or how to spell it because that is so
Like, why are we skipping
important.
this?
No,
'cause
it's so important.
it's day-to-day conversation. Like,
Yeah.
give me $5. What the heck is $5?
What is bucks?
What the heck's
Bucks.
Five what? Bucks?
Oh my god.
That is so crucial and so like, I don't
It's
know.
true.
Yeah, it's,
I
like,
always-
but it's things that you don't think about.
I think our podcast should now just be an English learning podcast. Okay, what
got
does it mean when you say snatched?
Like,
Like,
just
See,
like-
I always thought it was like tiny waist,
Looking
right?
good.
Like you're snatched.
Yeah.
But it's actually just anything that looks good. It's just a compliment. Like
stop.
your sneakers are snatched. I don't think my kids say it like that.
That looks so bomb. That was hard for me to understand, but it makes sense.
I say bomb all the time. Like, that's bomb.
That looks so bomb.
Actually, I don't think I say it anymore. I think I used to. Like, a couple years ago.
Cool.
Alright, what's salty?
Bitter.
Like bitter.
Yeah, angry, bitter.
She's so salty.
Period.
It's something you don't explain with words.
You
it's
can't.
Attitude.
You
right, that's just like
action.
You know who's the best one? Says.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
He's so like he's so good at like keeping up with like what's the hottest word of the day. He's like on it, and the way he expresses it is so funny. That's period. I can't even do it.
Actually, now that you said that, I heard his voice come out of your voice.
There you go.
Your mouth. I've heard him say.
All right, what's a flex?
Like showing off.
Yeah. All right, no cap.
That's the one
I'm not lying.
Figured.
Yeah, no cap.
It's like for real, no lie.
Cap.
So okay, cap is lie.
But why does that mean lie? Cap.
Oh, I don't know why. I just really say it.
I think half of these don't have a why.
Do you know what I think I say now every single day? At least 87,000 times a day. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Oh, totally.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. But I'm just like, I'm dead.
See, but some of these are translatable. Because, like, in Brazil, we say, estou morta, morri. It's like, that still makes sense to me when I hear someone saying, morri. I'm dead.
Morri. Do we say that?
We say that so much in Brazil.
So I follow a couple of, like, like Mexican influencers. And, again, I follow a certain type just because, like, they're from the areas that I grew up in. Mm-hmm. And they mix... And I think this is interesting to talk about. They mix, like, it's a Spanglish. But it's like...
They say a lot of slangs in English.
They have a ton. They say, like... I mean, I guess the word obvious is the same in Spanish as obvio.
Mm-hmm. I love saying obvio.
But they say ovi.
Me too.
Ovi, yeah.
Or, like, delicious is delicioso.
Deli. Yeah, we say that in Brazil.
My mom and I were just talking about how we want to call movies pelis.
Pelis.
Because we always say pelis. Isn't it so cute? She's like, we should just say pelis. And I'm like, yes.
We say that.
So
we say,
cute.
do you want to go see a peli? ¿Quieres ir a ver una peli?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like we just always use the whole word, like película. Vamos a ver una película. Vamos a ver una película.
It's true.
And my mom's like, let's say peli. And I'm like, yes. That's cute. That's cute as hell.
There's another word that I started hearing, and it's like... Oh my gosh, I can't even remember, but it's like the word, English word, but in a Spanish accent.
Mm-hmm. There's so many. I hear
like,
it all the time.
You'll be weird if you say it with an English accent. Mm-hmm. It has to be like Spanish accent.
Yeah.
Like what?
But it's English.
I'll have to look it up.
I know, I've heard it too many times too. I just can't think of any.
I
literally heard it the other day listening to a podcast in Spanish.
All right, do you guys know what stan is?
I stand
like
her.
a support.
I stand this. Yeah, it's like I like it.
It's like I agree.
My students ask me, who do you stand me with?
That's
girl,
weird.
bye. Girl, boy. All right, what is sus? Oh, that's sus. You're sus. That was sus.
Suspicious.
Yes, suspicious.
It's like a shortcut.
But it's also like, I think some, and again, this could be wrong, but I feel like some of my kids use it as in like, that's gay. Like,
sus? Oh, really?
Like, if a boy says something.
Like, he's sus.
Like, oh, that's sus. Like, that's. Like,
it can have
I'm suspicious of you being gay.
It can, it has a double meaning.
Right. I've heard that.
Listen, I feel so bad for the people that are named this, but Karens. Like, I hate Karens.
Okay, but I don't feel bad for them because have you ever met a nice Karen? They usually always.
Do you know what's so funny? I know a Karen, and I really like her. I really, really do like her.
But have you seen her in a stress situation?
But the more I get to know her, I see a lot of Karen in her. Granted, she's
it's because I'm sure they're nice. A lot of the times, it's just like in the situation that can trigger the Karen out of them, they would be a Karen. I don't think Karens are Karens all the time.
What's the opposite of a Karen? Like in the male gender.
Ooh.
Oh,
is it Kevin?
I don't think they have one.
No, they do. I've heard it before. Yeah.
It's either Kevin or Dave or something.
Chad.
I would say like
Chad.
I would say like
it's a
Gary.
Kyle. No, a Kyle is something else. But
yeah, Kyle's like
Kyle's boy.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be definitely older generation, like an older dude. It's like a Gary or a
Robert.
Jim.
I don't know.
Jim.
Do you guys have any like embarrassing experiences?
Bro, do I? I'm just kidding. I actually, on my way here, because
that like makes you cringe.
I will say like the one I can remember right now is in 7th grade, the teacher told the whole class to hop. And I was like, what the hell is hopping? I only knew skipping. So like it was one by one. But like somehow
she's like, Caro, you go first.
Yeah,
you hop.
Literally, it was like the kid before me did the hop, and I was like supposed to. No, what was I saying?
Yeah, you were supposed to hop, but you only knew skip. Hop.
The dude did skipping, and I was like, well, what do I do now?
I know that's skipping.
I did what he did, and obviously I was wrong. And
did your teacher call you guys out?
I do remember someone calling me out.
Like, I promise I'm not stupid. And I just don't understand the language.
Do you know who the real stupid one of the story is? The kid before you.
Because he did it wrong.
He skipped.
I just remember, I'm like, I know I'm wrong, but I'm still going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like, I know this is skip, but I don't know what hop is. So.
I think if the teacher did something like, oh, God, Carolina, that's not it, or whatever. And then, this was 7th grade, 8th grade.
Why are you hopping in class?
I know. It was part of an exercise, I can't remember. And then the other one that I'm like, I'm still mad about because I know the teacher knew what I was saying, but she on purpose
they pretend they don't.
was trying to like.
By the way.
We were talking about geography. I can't remember.
Are you furious?
And I'm furious right now.
Listen,
I just all these things just came.
She was a redhead too. I remember that. Anyways. We had to bring up rivers. Or like capitals of the city. I don't remember. But I chose Rio de Janeiro, right? Mm-hmm. And so me and my cute little Spanish accent, trying to make it sound English too, though. I was like, Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, you told me this before.
And she was like, can't remember if I said Janeiro or Janeiro, but I was like in between those. And the teacher's like, what are you saying? And
don't pretend.
I was like, Rio de Janeiro.
Have you seen the map of the world?
And I'm like, I know I'm pronouncing it right.
Right.
Right, so the stupid one in this situation.
Yeah.
So she basically wanted you to say Janeiro.
Something. Yeah, exactly. More English-like. And I know she knew what I was talking about. Or either that or she's like hella stupid.
Nothing else sounds like that. And
what
when
else?
you say Rio de Janeiro, even like in Portuguese, people know exactly what you just said.
You're like, oh, Janeiro? Yeah.
Right, I know what that is. It's Brazil.
I want to say I did say like Rio de Janeiro. Like I said it.
Even then, that makes total sense. Richly.
And I'm still mad because I'm like, you made me say that in front of everyone, the class, 3 times. And I know that you knew.
Oh my gosh.
That pisses me off.
Let me share my funny experience and then we should totally talk about people that pretend like they don't understand. We should totally talk about that. Hold on. So, guys, this is so embarrassing. Like, it makes me cringe so much. So, I went to T-Mobile to get a new phone when I had just come back from my mission. My dad came with me, and he was going to pay for it. I was going to be on his plan. So, we walk in, and my dad was just being so, like, let me take care of it. Just come with me. Like, don't stress, because I was stressed. He's like, I'll take care of it. And I'm like, okay, he got it. We walk in, and then my dad is having this conversation with this customer service guy, and my dad's making no sense. Like, whatever he's saying, I know it doesn't make any sense because my English at that point was good. Yeah. I had just gotten back from my mission, and I spoke a lot of English on my mission. So, my dad was just being so confusing. Like, I wasn't understanding what my dad was saying. So, I interrupted, and I was like, this is what he means. My dad literally pauses and says, I'm her daddy. I'm taking care of it. And I'm like... It doesn't stop there. He kept saying that the whole time. No, I'm her daddy. I'm taking care of it. And then he literally looked at me and he was like, I'm your daddy. I already told you I'm taking care of it. And I'm like, literally, I was so red. And the guy that was helping us, he was like, why is he so like controlling? Like, why is he talking to you like that? Because I wasn't happy with the way my dad was talking. So he could see it in my face. And I could see it in the guy's face. It was the most awkward situation. Like, literally, I got in the car and I was like, Dad, don't ever say that again.
Don't ever refer to yourself as
if I was 5, maybe.
Yeah.
I looked like I was your
sugar baby.
Sugar baby. That was so embarrassing to me. I'm dead. And my dad has done stuff like that so many times. So
like, now that he knows what it actually meant, he's like, I'm gonna embarrass her.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I don't think he does it on purpose. I think he truly chooses to not understand and like continue to say it.
He's like,
But for him, it's like, no.
I'm your daddy.
There's no way that
I'm gonna pay for it. I told you.
Literally, oh my gosh, it makes me cringe so bad. And then I remember one time I went to get my brows done. It's so funny because I do brows now and I know exactly how to say brows. Like it's it's me. Like I know so much about it. But oh my gosh, I walked into a salon, which I ended up working there later. I walked in to get my brows done for the first time ever since I moved to the United States, and I go to the receptionist, and you know how salons are, like if you go to a really cute one, they have a lot of mean girls, like that's how salons are here in Utah, at least, like all the blondes, like
I hate mean
they
girls.
can be really like groupie, like really just mean, judgy, right? So I walked into the reception and I was like, I'm here to get my bras done, and she's like and I was like, my bras done, like why is that so hard to understand? And she's just like looking at me, and she literally was like, hold on, I'll be right back. She called someone else to come talk to me, and I was like, I'm here to get my bras done. She's like, you mean brows? I'm like, I never forgot. Thank
you for teaching me a lesson. I hate you.
Literally that day I went into the, like my drive home was like brows. Like I need to get it right in my head because I will never embarrass myself like this ever again.
Look at you now, the brow queen.
But it's just, I hate, so that kind of goes back to like, I hate how people pretend like they don't, like, I obviously have an accent, and you obviously know what I'm trying to say. Like, if I walk into you and I say, I'm here to get my brows done, you would be like, oh, your brows?
Yeah, like,
and I'm sure you, like, point.
Like, I know I said it wrong, but I know you understand me.
Right.
You just wanted the satisfaction to make me feel less than you.
Yeah.
And I feel that a lot. I've been through that so much here. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced, well, you experienced that with your teacher.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to think, like, I don't think I personally have, at least I haven't been aware of it, and I got lucky learning it at the age that I did because I was able to, like, learn
know
it.
enough, like, not to make a mistake I made. Yeah.
And like, I don't have much of an accent, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've noticed when people do it to my mom. And bro, I'm like, I was like, be mean to me. Come be disrespectful to me. Make me feel like, I don't care. I'm going to walk away and I'm going to be like, whatever. But the moment.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Who makes fun of my mom's English the most out of anybody I know? It's me.
But you can't.
But I can't because it's me. But the moment someone attacks my mom for her English, bro. So we're on the front runner.
Oh my gosh.
And we were running really late. And so we just, like, the train was literally leaving. We just jumped in. We didn't buy our tickets. And we're like, we'll just buy our tickets when we get there. Like, we'll just go to the thing and buy them. And so the dude, and this has never happened to me before, but some dude was there checking tickets. And, like, I've been on the front runner a bunch of times, and I, like, have not had a ticket before, and nobody ever checks, whatever.
You never bought a ticket?
I mean, sometimes I do, but sometimes I'm late, and so I'm like, I'll just buy it on, or I'm like, I'll buy it on my phone or whatever. But this dude was like talking to my mom, and my mom's like explaining to him, and my mom has really good English. Like my mom's English is very, very good.
It's really good.
Yeah, and so she was just explaining the situation. She's like, we got on like the train was leaving, and we're just gonna buy them as soon as we get off. And he's like pretending he doesn't understand anything. Bro, when I tell you, I was screaming on the front runner at this dude. I was like, don't pretend that you don't understand. I was like, ah! I was, oh.
You lost it.
I lost it.
What did he do?
He just walked away because I think he was like, oh, this girl's crazy. Like, deuces, I'm out. So he literally just went to another part of the train and didn't come back.
I hate that.
Did I buy a ticket that day? No. Sorry, UTA, but your little worker dude was a total dick to my mom. So bye.
Oh
bye.
You know what word was hard for me? Bitch and beach.
Yeah.
Like I always, like instead of saying beach, I always say the other one. And I totally got the looks multiple times in my life.
Dude, mine was jewelry.
Oh, that one's too hard.
Jewelry and
how do you say that? Jewelry. I say jewelry.
Dude, that's how I used to say it until
I still say jewelry.
I actually had
I still say it like that.
Jewelry.
I remember I was in 9th grade and I was in the back of the bus because I had to ride the stupid bus in school. And the kid, and I was just like very open to my neighbor kid. And I was like, I can't say that word. And he's like, I'll help you. And it was this nice little white boy. He's like, jewelry. And I was like, okay, and I got it.
Jewelry.
Jewelry.
Oh, it's jewelry.
Yeah,
jewelry.
Not jewelry.
Yeah.
Jewelry.
I will continue to say jewelry.
I think I don't know how to say that either.
Yeah.
Well, and the one that I have still the hardest time with, and I didn't know until Cody would point it out. Cody's my husband. Is iron. Like
La plancha.
Iron. Like the vitamin, like plancha. Iron. It's not iron. That's the thing. Like, it's iron.
How did you say it?
Iron. Like iron. Like I run.
Oh, there's no. It's like a silent R.
Iron.
Or it's like, iron. It should be spelled IORN.
Or like salmon.
I just say ferritin. I think it's hard. It's the same thing. Ferritin. Isn't it?
Oh, is that what iron is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't quote me on this, but
salmon. I
think salmon is a good one.
Salmon's a good one.
Because it's salmon.
Right? Salmon.
Nope.
Salmon.
It's salmon.
See, that one makes no sense.
See, I will say this about English. I don't want to say I figured it out, but like, I realized I'm like, English, it's an easy language to learn. It's the hardest to pronunciate.
Right.
Because in English, you only have the table, the chair. In our country,
you
have feminine, male,
pronouns.
Whatever.
Articles.
Spanish and Portuguese are a million times harder than English.
And you have like feminine sentences, whatever.
Oh,
right?
And we conjugate a whole lot more.
It's too complex.
Yeah. So like grammar-wise, I think English is not that hard.
No.
Because the rules are very simple and very straightforward. It's the pronunciation that is the hardest. Because let's say you still have an accent. But even then, there's still words that are just hard to say.
Yeah.
They're not normal.
Totally.
Like buffet.
Because like we have...
buffet.
See, but that's
buffet,
French.
Ballet, salmon, iron.
Yeah.
Iron.
Jewelry.
February.
I don't know. I just know that I still don't know how to spell February or say it. And I don't know how to spell neighbor or neighborhood.
I don't know how to spell license or receive.
Dude, scissors. An exercise.
Scissors, I've never once chosen to spell that word. So.
I had never written that ever.
Yeah, me either.
I would choose other ways to explain myself.
And so, I don't know. And I obviously, like, I think on our missions, we have not that we have to have compassion, but you automatically have compassion for your companions that are learning Spanish, right? Because you were there in a way once before, and so I feel like
it's quite amazing that they can learn Spanish
that quick.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and I feel like with inclusive generation or like the inclusive culture that is going on right now, I think there are more people that are more patient with you and are more willing to work to figure out what you're saying or like help you in the market or like make you feel more comfortable. And so I do appreciate that about
hard drops. Okay. Anyway.
I do appreciate that about the culture right now. So I feel like anyone coming to the country or an immigrant, they could have an easier journey navigating English
now than before.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because people are nicer or like more aware.
And I'm sure we've all heard from guys that like weren't interested in this. Well, you guys don't have an accent, but I've always heard it like, love your accent. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah. No, you have the best accent.
It's a positive point on my view.
Mine was the opposite. I had a guy turn me down because he's like, my parents didn't. Yeah, dude. I invited him to go to dance with me like in high school, and we were in different high schools, but we went to the same junior high, so we knew each other in junior high. Go to high school in separate schools, and I asked him out essentially, right? He's like, no, because my parents said you were Mexican. And when he said that, I was like, well, that's weird. Like, obviously, like I did not feel. Because up to this point...
Are you kidding me?
Up to this point, I had never had, like, a racist moment that I was aware of. People could have said stuff to me, and I had no fucking clue.
So
let's drop his name. Drop his name right now. Actually, drop his parents' name.
What's his address?
Well, okay.
I'm about to go.
His parents both died, like, a couple years after. So that's why I'm like...
Well, karma's a bitch, so... You're racist? You racist?
Anyway.
You're gonna die.
Right.
So check yourself. Oh my
gosh.
Needless to say, after that I was like, I told my mom, she was so mad, and I was like, I was kind of bugged, but like I said, I don't know, somehow in my journey, I was very comfortable with who I was. Mm-hmm. So him saying that, I was like, well, that's your loss, you know?
Right.
Like, you're missing out on this.
Since when is being Mexican not cool? Because it's always been. So that's weird.
So, I don't know. I was very confused. You could say that's a big racist moment and anyone would have been mad, but I was just confused. I was like, but we were best friends.
Yeah, like why does
and I'm cool as hell.
And so why does it matter now? Right. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hate that.
Wow.
So, anyways.
But I do feel like most guys like when girls have a little accent.
Well, dudes are just obsessed with Latinas.
It's cute. I like when guys have accents. Oh my gosh.
I think we've talked about this. I think it depends on the accent.
It depends on the accent.
Right.
I'm telling you.
We already talked about this.
Yeah.
You're very right. Not every accent will be cute.
No.
But
sorry.
But most of the time, Latino accent, wherever you're from, it's really cute too.
Yeah.
I have, and I don't know, maybe because it's part of me that everyone was so strict on me with grammar, also my mom. Mm-hmm. So whenever I hear, like, an immigrant, not just, like, and I want to say specifically someone our age, and they say words, like, not right or sentences not right, it kind of bugs me. Because I was, like, forced.
In English or in Spanish?
Triggers you a little bit.
And it triggers me. And not because I see them as less, and I'm not like, hey, that's not how you say it. But it's almost like, oh, like, I could have made so many mistakes, but I just felt like I had no space to make mistakes. Because we were also told, like, we have to be better than...
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be looked as...
Yeah.
Like, you're already an immigrant, so get it together for the English.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so...
But that's true. That's how I was raised, too. It was like, you got it. But honestly, like, I'm so good at English. Like, I know I'm still learning certain things or whatever, but it's like,
that's
grammar-wise, I'm perfect. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't make mistakes. When I'm talking, like, my there, your, two, like,
100%.
If somebody, like, on Hinge or, like, whatever, if I see a dude not say their right your or the right there or the right to,
so
literally, unmatched. I'm like, sorry,
if
you don't.
I know this.
If I know
there's something wrong with you that you don't.
Yeah.
Totally.
And sometimes I'll correct people. I'll be like, I'm sorry, you said this wrong.
I'm like,
you know what my biggest pet peeve is? This is what my biggest pet peeve. This is my biggest pet peeve. When people say could of, should of, when they write OF, I'm like,
oh, it should be.
It's like, apostrophe VE. Like, this has to be a reel because I need the world to see this. It is not could of OF. It is not should of
it's could
OF.
Have.
It's could have, should have. So it's abbreviated with an apostrophe VE. Apostrophe VE. And if you get it wrong, bro, that's an ick. That's an ick.
I totally knew that.
That's an ick. Wait, you didn't know that?
I did. I forgot, and now I'll fix it.
It's okay.
I'm reminded.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if you guys do it. I haven't noticed. It's really when dudes do it. It really isn't like.
I don't do
I
that.
feel like if I text it, I always say should have. Maybe
and
in
if I
conversation.
Do it, it's because not with the should have, but like if I mess up your and you are, it's because my phone did it for me. Like my.
Yeah, you're autocorrect.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, like...
Because I know the difference.
Yeah. I won't get at this with Latino people that I know have learned the language.
No.
Well, sometimes. I'm like, you should know this by now.
Like, it
also, you've been living here for a minute, you should know that.
Yeah, it boggles my mind with, like, Native Americans. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, I've had all this schooling and I get it right, and you're just like,
And that's not a spelling thing.
But
that's not a spelling mistake.
People that, like, had to really learn at an older age... We see things different, and the way you teach yourself, you become such a better learner and you retain a lot better.
For sure.
Because I am convinced a lot of Latinos, immigrants, whatever, know how to spell certain words better than Americans do. Because you have to, like, you struggled to learn.
No, and I'm telling you,
so you never forget. You never forget.
Helps you be better because you say the things in your mind.
Well,
like,
it's like
in
they
Spanish.
say. It's like they say. Like once you learn a second language, the third, the fourth, the fifth, it's a lot easier because now your brain knows how to learn a language.
Yeah, the skills are
consciously.
Developed.
Right. Well,
I will say all my best subjects in school. Like I've been a pretty good student, but I was always like English was so easy for me in the sense of like literature,
really
poems,
grammar. I loved writing essays.
You just have to figure it out.
Like I loved
literature was
all
hard
that stuff.
Like reading books and stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
this
I
is
love
too
like
old for me. I don't understand a thing.
I almost like want to join a book club because I love talking about like the book. Because that just...
Let's do a book club, because I love that too. I just need to make more time to read. But I do love that.
Just the different points of view, and like... And I took like... All in high school, I had like AP English, and all we did was read the book and write an essay, and I love writing the essays. Yeah, I don't know. It's like... It was easy for me.
I love that.
So I feel it's just because I had such a good foundation when it came to English. Obviously, could be, a lot of it is given because I did go to private American school, so I had really good... foundation set, but even then I still have my hard days.
Yeah.
And so I want to always, like, make everyone aware, no matter how much you learn English, how much time you put into it, you will be humbled at times.
No, and it's so true. I feel like, and maybe this isn't a thing that people say anymore. I'm sure there's people that are out there that are like, oh, well, we're in America, you have to speak English. And I'm like, bro, these immigrants, because I can't put myself in the category of like a person that had to learn English and it was like really difficult, because for me it wasn't. Like, it wasn't hard to learn English. Yeah. Like, I learned it when I was so young. So to me it was like, I honestly could say I've never really learned a language like actively, just because I like learned both of them when I was so young. But like, I look at my grandparents and my aunts and uncles and stuff that like are still learning the language, and I am just so grateful for the people like out in public that are compassionate to them. Like, especially my grandpa, because I know he came when he was like much older. His English was never good, and he had such a thick accent, and like it was hard to understand. But there were people that were like willing to be like, yeah, let me understand what you're saying, and like let me help you out. Whereas there were people that are like, like, I don't understand you, I'm not even gonna try. So like, it's so important to, like, I want to be that person that's like compassionate towards the people that are learning any language. Yeah. Because it really is hard. Yeah. And those people that are saying, well, in America we only speak English, well, go learn another language.
I do think,
though, let me see if you can.
I do think it's important for people to learn English.
Of course.
Like,
I mean, anywhere you go in the world.
For yourself. Yeah. Like, it's not even to just please your neighbors, so because they hate you, then you don't. Like, you have. Like, come on. Yeah. For your own safety. Yeah. Like,
you know what's crazy, though? You can live in the United States and never learn English, because there are so many big Latino communities now.
You really don't have to know English.
I think I've got parents of my kids that don't speak English, and they don't need to, because everybody they surround themselves with is. So, yeah, I do agree.
There's always, like, that little. They're always going to experience a little bit of an awkward moment. Like, my mom doesn't speak a word of English. She literally will take her to a restaurant. She'll sit down, say hi to the server, and speak in Portuguese. She will literally be like, wait, to the bone? Like, in Portuguese. And I'm like, do you know, like, we're not there anymore. Like, and she's like, I know, but, like, why doesn't he understand? And I'm like, Mom, the different
Why can't I speak
for her? It's so weird that people don't understand her language, because that's all she's ever known. And I'm like, why doesn't it just make sense? She will literally speak Portuguese with everyone.
I feel like it's almost like okay at this point, but don't expect people to talk. Because I've heard of, unfortunately, American tourists in other countries, when they're like, why don't you speak English? Or like, they are so mad that there's no English service or whatever, and it's like,
come on, dude.
You know,
I hate that.
Relax. Like, if you're gonna explore the world, at least
get out of your
learn a couple words. And so I will say, like, I find it funny that Bad Bunny, bless his heart, love him, big fan, but I think it's, and I don't think he's ever been open about this, but it's almost like, I feel like, because he wanted to be such a big star in Spanish, and so he's like, I don't need to learn English to be a big star. So it's almost like I feel like he refuses to learn at this point. Yeah. But who knows? Maybe he knows a lot.
He's at a point where he's like pushing himself to learn now. Yeah, because it's like, dude, you're getting up there to receive a word, and you're not making any sense. Like, come on.
It is cool though that he like is this far along in like fame. Yeah. Not. I mean, he does speak English, but not a lot. But it's like.
Bad.
I'm like, you proved the point. You can do it. You can do it. You proved that.
Which is super
I'm
cool.
sure there are situations where he's like, bro, I should speak English.
I can only imagine the conversation he had with Taylor Swift. I'm like, I'm sure that made no sense.
Or like all the memes with him and Kendall.
Oh my gosh.
Like, me, Arbo, like the Bridesmaids clip. I died.
Yeah, I love that. Well, to finish up, I think you said everything. Like,
yeah.
If you're going through it, just know that everyone went through it. Like, it's hard to learn a different language, and it's applaudable. Look at me.
That was a good one, bro.
Applaudable. It's admirable to put yourself out there and challenge yourself to.
It's applaudable. That's a good word.
Applaudable is a word.
It has to be. If not,
it is. Good job.
No, it's applaudable and admirable to put yourself out there and to push yourself to learn something new. No
and send us your embarrassing moments. Yes. That'd be so fun
to
read.
We should have an episode to read their stories.
Oh my God.
Because this all happened, I want to say, because of that TikTok that we saw of that girl asking for help because her dad was like, ask them if they need help with mano de obra. Remember I sent you guys this? Yeah, she's like, it was like with that sound of like,
it was a hand job.
So anyways, I'll post that on the feed because that's kind of what like started everything because I'm like, I know we all have had these moments where English is just not.
And if you're going through it, it's okay. Be patient with yourself.
Yeah, who cares?
And honestly, at this point, I feel like I don't even speak English perfectly or Spanish perfectly anymore.
And I don't care anymore.
So at this,
we suck at both. At some point, you're gonna get to a point. Neither or will make sense.
No,
I know better. I think my English is better than my Portuguese.
Dude, I know if I go to Mexico, I will be seen as like, oh, you were born in the U.S., huh?
No sabo kid.
Yeah, I'm like, sabo kid.
No sabo kid, loud and proud, baby. Let's go.
I'm trying to accept that in myself. But,
all right. Well,
thanks for listening, you guys.
We love you guys so much. Thanks. You already said that.
We'll see you next week. Hopefully, we don't have any stupid
technological difficulties like the last couple weeks, but that's okay.
Yeah,
we're here and
we're trying.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Adios.